Today we're visiting a new place, a very unexpected one, since we were looking for some waterfalls and we ended up finding them inside a restaurant. But how can that be possible? Only in Costa Rica. Let's begin. Our today's destination is called Senderos Restaurant, located in San Ramon de Alajuela, not so far from San Jose. The truth is that we got there quite quickly, it is easy to find, has good parking, and they accept pets, so there is no excuse to spend a pleasant day in this amazing place, in which you enter the restaurant to pay the entrance fee, but then you enter into a true paradise. It is hard to imagine that it is part of a restaurant. The trails are quite good, or at least at the beginning, and the views are spectacular. The trails progress almost all the time under a pleasant natural shade, so you don't feel sultry heat. Along the trail there are different areas for walking rest and even meditation, but the dogs really wanted water, so we didn't have time to waste. We continue advancing briskly until we reach the first waterfall. And no more than 300 meters later, we arrive. A waterfall in fairly wide river surrounded by exuberant nature will mark the scene of our first stop. It is a pity that because it is the height of the rainy season, and that surely it would be raining at some point upriver, the water was going down somewhat enraged, but above all with a lot of ditty. So the water in general was not appetizing, or at least not for us, because for the doggies, they didn't care. Just a little further on, we find a beautiful suspension bridge which passes over another river that joins the main river where we were on. But what is the origin of this secondary river? A beautiful and majestic waterfall, worthy of a visit. Let's explore. The environment is spectacular, really. What a pity that the water was like this, because taking a good dip there would have been amazing. So I'm afraid that this is going to be one of those places to which we are going to have to return no matter what at some day, to be able to enjoy it as it deserves, or at least us, because the dogs were enjoying it as if there were crystal clear waters. Just incredible. Not bad for just starting out. But we had to continue. The trail advances almost all the time along the river, which was phenomenal for the dogs because they were getting into it non-stop. And it must be said that in the place there were a lot of ants that crawled up our feet every time you stopped for more than 1 second in the same place. So especially for the dogs, it was very useful for them to be able to get into the water to get rid of them. Then we came to a small island in the middle of the river, an island that Rusty ventured to conquer from the moment he saw it. So that's where we will all go.
Muy bien, Rusty, mi chico. Muy bravo. Muy bien, mi chico. Tenemos que llegar a esa isla. Solo podemos llegar saltando de piedra en piedra, como en los videojuegos.
Let's go!
No te arriesgues a resbalarte.
The truth is that the crossing through the stones was a bit chaos. Buster had to be assisted by Rebecca, and even so the poor guy ended up almost at the rift. And in the end I had to take off my shoes because there was no way to cross without put our feet in. But finally, we made it. As almost always in our adventures, there were nobody in the place. We were completely alone, which Rusty knew how to take advantage of very well. We enjoyed the small island for a while, especially these two, and then we continue with our exploration of the place, arriving at a part where the path was not so good anymore. Let's say that some maintenance was needed around here, at least a bit of machete, but hey, no obstacle that can't be overcome. But be careful with these trap signs, because all of them always say that there are 100 meters left. But 100 meters for what? For the next sign? And with this small waterfall, strategically located to cool off a bit, we reached the end of this trail. And I say this trail because we still had waterfalls to see, we just didn't know very well how to access them, so we will return with our eyes wide open to see if we could find the alternative path through which to see what we were missing to see. And I don't know if it was because we went with our eyes wide open, but we were lucky to see some monkeys who also delighted us with their acrobatic jumps. ¡Monos! ¡Monos!
¡Vamos, vamos, vamos! Bueno, tras perdernos varias veces tratando de encontrar el camino alternativo, porque hay dos caminos y solo encontrábamos uno, lo tenemos y os lo voy a mostrar. Este es el camino principal, o el que nosotros creemos principal, por el que primero entramos, pero si vas por aquí, hay un camino alternativo.
And although it took us a bit, we found it. We found the other trail that we hope will take us to the rest of the falls that we had yet to see. Although at that moment it began to rain a little, and being so close to the river, we were a little afraid that a waterhead would come. So we hurried to see where this trail would take us to return to the restaurant before the universal deluge hit us, in addition to the fact that we were already somewhat hungry, everything must be said. This trail was losing its trail properties by the minute and taking more and more a Jurassic Park set shape. It got more interesting as the rain intensified. But then we found it. The one we understand was the last of the waterfalls, and through which a lot of water flowed down. Pretty brave waters, things were starting to get a bit scary. Just awesome. But we didn't have much time. We had to get out of there before things got complicated. Besides, our guts were already roaring asking for something to eat, so we headed to the restaurant where a delicious lunch would await us that will bring us back to life. Thank you very much for joining us on this adventure. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it, and see you into the nature.